glasses. I'm feeling very kind of not keeping up with the stylistic glasses. It's funny because I'm a librarian in this group that I belong to. Oh, we got a fish.
What
on
was
the
the question
line.
again? Luann wants to know what your question was again.
Where Libra lies in your chart. So if you know your chart, you can look at what house Libra lies in. So for me, it's first house. For Brenda, it's
Brenda. Yes, Brenda, your partner in this, Ralph. He forgot my name for a second. He had to hesitate. Welcome, everybody. It is welcome for the Aries full moon. So we look forward to hearing all about it from Ralph. And so just to go over a few things with you, if you'd like to be part of our Facebook group, you can do that by going to www.joinmoongatherings.com, and it will get you there. That way we post a few things that are interesting. And of course, now Ralph is being better about posting information on YouTube and making videos. So it's getting good now here the last quarter of the year. And just so you know, the next new moon gathering will be November 6th. We do the first and we do the third Wednesday of every month through the end of the year. So here are the times to register. So when you register for the webinar, so there's a different registration for the new moon as there is for the full moon, because they run, separately. You will always receive, if you can't make it, you'll always receive the recording. So there's the advantage. And it also reminds you, because life's going to start getting hectic here as we move further on in the year. And then of course we're going to have the full moon gathering on Wednesday, November 20th. And again, this is the registration link. We also post all of this information in our Facebook group every month, so you can remember. We will be hearing from Ralph MacIntyre, who is a evolutionary astrologer and astrocartographer. This is his link for his website, which is www.astro-map-link.com. And he always offers to people who attend or that see this video to get 50% off of his complete world map, which is this interactive astrocartography map, and it's super interesting. And so the 50% off makes it just $25, a great Christmas gift. So yes, for somebody, because it's really interesting. You just need to know their date of birth, their time of birth, and where, right? Correct, Ralph?
Yes, date, time, and where.
So if you'd like to know more about me, I'm Brenda Bailey. I do have a directory listing. This is the link to get to that, to know more about what I do. I explain a very brief video on ThetaHealing. So this is a YouTube video. And then all the different things that I do with ThetaHealing, that's this video. That one's a little bit longer. So I also have a belief work Facebook group, and if you'd like to be a part of that, it's www.joinblastyourbeliefs.com, and we do downloads there every other day, that kind of thing. So, and again, to be part of our moon gatherings, www.joinmoongatherings.com. So that is out of the way, and now we get to the good stuff. So welcome everybody who is joining us tonight. I guess we're going to go ahead and let Ralph get started.
Yes, yes, yes. My favorite time. Actually, my favorite time is when I get to just say yes, yes, yes. But I have to kind of work before I get to go into.
Got to give me some material, Ralph. Give me some material.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So the sun opposite the moon, full moon. So the sun sits in Libra. I have been asking a question at the beginning before the webinar started, is where Libra sits in your chart. So If you know where Libra sits in your chart, you can put into the chat the house number, or if you have any planets in Libra. Both of those would be interesting to know. So Libra is a very relationship-oriented sign. It requires you to deal with other people. And so I want to kind of do a little recap on evolutionary astrology principles before we get into what's going on in the sky. So from an evolutionary astrology perspective, we believe that the soul's here to evolve. It's been here before, and it's going to be here potentially again. If you kind of reach your God realization, they do tell you don't necessarily have to come to the earth unless you want to. But for me, I'm pretty sure I'm probably coming back at least one more time. So anyways, the chart shows where you've been, your karma, the south node of the moon, what you need to accomplish, and where you're going, the north node of the moon. And so what I want to talk a little bit about is what you need to accomplish. So imagine if you look at the birth chart as your college schedule, a planet and a sign in a house is the class you're learning this lifetime. So if you have a planet in Libra, or you have a house in Libra, or if you have transits in Libra, so pretty much everyone has Libra in their chart somewhere. I don't believe you can incarnate onto the planet and not have Libra in your chart. Not everyone has planets in Libra. So if you don't have planets in Libra, the sky, the moving sky, affects Libra by transit. So the way this works is, so where Libra is in your chart shows you where you need other people, where you need to relate to other people, where you need to have relationship or intimate connection with other people. Libra, balance of my needs and the balance of your needs. Am I putting more energy in my needs, or am I putting more energy in your needs? And so by understanding this concept, you can start to understand what the universe is asking of us. So when this Libra sun, and the sun illuminates everything. All the planets get illuminated by the sun. The sun is the center of our solar system. The sun is the center of your chart. As above, so below. All the planets revolve around your sun. So wherever your sun is, or wherever the sun is in the sky, tends to be a very important planet. Now, because the sun moves quickly, it doesn't have as much effect on us, because generally planets that take a longer time to move tend to have a stronger effect, like Pluto, Saturn, all the outer planets. But this is Libra time. This is the Libra time of the year when the sun is in Libra for approximately 30 days. And right now, this Libra energy, this relationship energy, is shining over on the moon. And the moon is our emotional nature. And anytime signs are opposite, they're kind of as far apart as possible, meaning Libra relating to others and Aries all about me kind of tend to be pretty far apart. And a lot of people, I've been noticing, a lot of relationships are kind of either ending or having a lot of tension or blowing up. And part of it is because we're all under a lot of pressure with this sun in Libra wanting us to relate to other people, and our emotional nature is like, hey, it's all about me. It's what about I feeling? What are my feelings? So from a kind of a lower ego perspective, you could see a lot of conflict here. But especially if you have Libra planets in your chart, part of what's all about you, part of what you need is that deep connection with other people. You know, depending on the house Libra is, So for instance, for me, Libra's in the first house. It's about me expressing my needs and desires in relationships. If, for instance, your Libra's in the 8th house, like someone you might know in this webinar, it's about that connection, that deep scorpionic bond. You needing that, you know. So if you have a planet in there, you know, then that is a lesson that's really important for you. And part of the reason why I'm talking about this is because when you have that Mars, Aries, fired up moon that kind of wants to take actions, potentially wants to pop off, you know, anytime the moon is in a fire sign, the emotions, that edge of calm and collective or fiery and reactive, it can get very thin. So interestingly enough, the Aries, the sign Aries, so every sign has a planet that's affiliated with it and a house that's affiliated with it. So Aries is a first house sign, and it's also ruled by Mars. So we look at this Aries moon, and we have to look at Mars to fully understand it. And currently in the sky, Mars is also sitting there with the sun in Libra. And so this desire for individual Aries is being powered both by a sun of relationship and the ruling planet in relationship. And, you know, so once we look at that, we can then take from Libra, we go over to Venus. Because Venus rules Libra. And Venus is the planet of what attracts us, what calms us, what soothes us. It's how we interact with beauty in the world. And Libra sits in the sign of Scorpio right now. And Scorpio is the 8th house. It is that deep connection, that deep bonding, but it's also truth. And Scorpio truth is very different than normal truth. Scorpio, I like to coin the phrase that Scorpio is more of a soul level truth. It's not an ego truth, it's a soul level truth. It's not a construct of our society truth, but it's more of a soul, deep, what is real, regardless of how uncomfortable it makes you. And so we have all these planets that are sitting in there wanting us to deeply connect with other people. We have this fired up moon in Aries wanting us to take the appropriate action as far as what we really want, you know. And so one of the things with Mars has this, the simple way to look at Mars, it's about appropriate action. It's about meeting the situation with the needed amount of energy. And that's a lot easier said than done. You know, generally speaking, especially from a Libra perspective, you know, you can want to make sure the relationship isn't rocky, wanting to make sure there's no conflict. And one of the ways people tend to make sure there's no conflict is to kind of like, oh, okay, I can stuff that. That's all right. Oh, okay, that's all right. Oh, okay, oh, that's all right. And then pow, that Aries Mars energy is like, no, that's not all right anymore. And, you know, things start flying and all this passion comes out in a way that can be destructive, can be disruptive to a relationship. So true Libra energy is the balance between your needs and my needs. It's important to remember that. Aries wants us to make sure that we're connected with our needs. The Mars that rules Aries is about connecting with our needs in relationship, asserting our needs in relationship. You know, it's also kind of a passionate placement for Mars, meaning that, you know, that masculine passion in a Venus ruled sign, you know. So in relationship, passion can come out in all sorts of different ways. Sometimes it can be very enjoyable, and sometimes it can be very scary. So if we were just looking at this sun in Libra and the moon in Aries, and we're going to just kind of leave it at that, we could get a lot of information there. But there's something that's like a big, huge, ginormous elephant in the room, so to speak. And that is that Pluto, the planet that rules our subconscious, the planet that wants us to be very truthful, wants us to see our greatness. You know, Pluto is the planet that helps us let go of things that are holding us back. You know, that is pretty much a direct square to this full moon. So the sun's at 20 degrees, the moon's at 20 degrees, and Pluto's at 20 degrees. Now, Pluto's not like exact square, it's a few minutes off, but for practical purpose, Pluto is an exact square. So if any of you have been listening to any of my YouTube videos that I've been putting a lot out, or some of the stuff I've talked about in other moon gatherings, I've been talking a lot about this Pluto, Saturn, south node of the moon in Capricorn. Capricorn represents our structure. And so part of what's happening right now is that our desire to relate, our desire for individual expression, but also to still be connected in relationship, is being illuminated by this Capricorn south node, Saturn, Pluto transit. And auspiciously speaking, I find it very interesting, a couple things that are kind of interesting that are happening. One is that the more you start to look into astrology, you start to see how it makes sense. And you also start to see how one transit prepares you for another transit, prepares you for another. So it's like as you watch astrology unfold, it's very obvious to be like, oh, now I understand. Now I understand what's really going on. So I've been talking about this need all summer when Pluto and Saturn were retrograde, sitting there right on the south node of the moon. And part of what's been happening all summer that just recently switched to direct is that we've been getting lit up, or we've been getting the opportunity to see where our subconscious, where our past life trauma, south node of the moon, where our society's structure isn't necessarily serving us. And I've done a bunch of videos on the north node in Cancer, south node in Capricorn. Simply put, from a negative Capricorn perspective, fear. From a positive north node perspective of Cancer, faith or opened heart. So part of what's happening is that we have this relationship energy, this Mars energy, this moon energy, square this Pluto Capricorn, and it's about where are our structures supporting our need to connect with other people? Where is our fear of all sorts of things, you know, intimacy, resources, you know, getting in the way of our relating to other people? You know, where is our, you know, because this can manifest in all sorts of different ways. You know, Libra's that balance between the needs of self and the needs of others. Aries is that assertive energy. So Capricorn or Pluto squaring this, it's like, so are you being too selfish? Are you asserting your needs too much? Are you not asserting your needs enough? Are you so terrified about losing that connection that you're unable to express your needs? Are you unable to show up in the relationship because you're terrified of losing the relationship? Or are you so afraid of getting lost in a relationship that you aren't able to fully step into it? Are you so attached to your own needs, your own drama, your own lower ego needs that you can't drop into the relationship? So Pluto's sitting there with a big subconscious flashlight, still interacting with the South Node. So all of the karma wounds about relationship, you know, and so anytime we're looking at this, we're looking at some of the negative things that can happen in relationship, you know, especially from a female male perspective. You know, women have tended to be a property of the relationship in past lives. So a lot of people come in with this karma, this drama, where, you know, it's like, oh, I got into a relationship last lifetime and I had to give up myself, you know. And so that Aries moon is like, hey, you know, don't ask an Aries moon to give up itself for anything, because it's not going to go over very well. They might be able to do it once or twice, but they're going to pop off and say, hey, no, I have needs. They matter just as much as your needs. So part of what we're doing here as this transit unfolds, and the thing that I find really auspicious about this is that, first of all, this Pluto, Saturn, South Node transit, I don't know the exact time it's happened last, but it's over several hundred years ago, possibly a long time ago. And so for it to be happening right now is relatively significant. And so also with Pluto going direct just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point, Saturn just going direct, and asking us to start to take action on all the things that were lit up by the summer. You know, during the summer, anything that kind of irritated you, agitated you, was a flashlight, a mirror into the subconscious. You know, because that South Node in Capricorn, North Node in Cancer is asking you to really take a look at where your subconscious is keeping you from connecting, opening your heart. And for me, and Brenda kind of agrees on this, it's like when people light you up, or when someone kind of gives you a mirror, it's not so much them, it's parts of yourself that you're not integrating. So having this Pluto directly square this Aries full moon, kind of, you know, starting off. Aries is an initiation sign. First house is, let's get something started. It's also the beginning of a cycle, you know, Aries energy, first house energy. So this really bright moon lit up by that Libra sun is wanting to kind of start things, kick things off. And you know, thinking about, especially for any of us in the United States, thinking about what's going to happen for the next year, we're all going to have an opportunity, or we're all going to have a huge amount of opportunities almost on a daily basis to not succumb to fear and to trust and open. And I'm, you know, being a massive Gemini, I tend to think and overthink and think and overthink and overthink and overthink, or drop in and feel. And so I've been really kind of sitting with this for a while and noticing that, like, there's so many different things that we could be terrified of. You know, AI, all these things, wars, and, you know, are we going to have a civil war or whatever? And I was realizing that so much of them are real. You know, it's like the thought of AI and what it might do, the thought of all these people losing jobs, you know, what that might do to the planet. It's like, it's really easy to drop into fear. And I was like thinking about it, it's like, okay, but I know I don't want to drop into fear. And then this light bulb came off, this answer, North Node in Cancer. So to me, God speaks to us by through our open heart. When we're happy, where our heart's open, we're trusting, that's when God's voice is the clearest. When we're closed down in fear, that's when we close down to God. So the more you can let go into trust, open up your heart, and listen to the subtle guidance. Because part of what's going to happen is in this next several years, we're going to need more and more guidance. You know, one of the things that I've been talking a lot about is this, you know, taking responsibility for your feelings and taking responsibility for your actions. You know, are you closing your heart down? You know, here's a big one. Is Donald Trump worth closing your heart down for? You know, are any of these political shenanigans, or however, you know, I don't mean to be making light of them with that word, but are any of them worth closing your heart down? Because the minute you close your heart down, you're not connected to God. So we're going to have a lot of opportunities in the next year, you know, to you know, because the other thing about Aries energy is the warrior energy. It's courage, the need of courage. You know, anyone that's been in a relationship, anyone that's thought about a relationship, anyone that's, you know, been in a long-term relationship, realize that courage is forefront. Having the courage to face the challenging aspects and remain in love. I remember once in a couples workshop, there was this statement of, do you want to be right or do you want to be in love? And often in relationship, you have to choose love over being right. Because being right, that's that pure Aries energy. There's a huge amount of people that aren't in relationship that are right. You know, there's a huge amount of relationships that have ended because the person was right. You're wrong, I'm right, this isn't going to work for me. But here's a news flash. If you have planets in Libra in your chart, if you have planets in the 7th, 8th house in your chart, if you have other relationship-oriented things in your chart, your soul needs to relate to other people, period. It needs to navigate this tumultuous water of, you know, two monkeys getting together and trying to cohabitate, you know, with radically different drugs running through you. You know, obviously speaking, that's more of a heterosexual relationship, you know, but I don't even think if you have the same drugs running, you know, if you're both testosterone and both estrogen, I think that there's still this opportunity to tension, you know, constantly choosing to keep my heart open, not drop into fear, and stay in love. And so from a karmic perspective, this is big. And let's see, I've been talking, haven't looked at any of the questions.
Everybody's telling you they're answering your question.
Oh, I have Neptune in Libra. Luann, that's great. Do you know what house that is, Luann? Neptune. All right, so
5th house.
I have Venus opposite, no, 5th house. Okay, I have Venus opposite Neptune. And one of the things about Neptune in the relationship area is Neptune is the direct connection to the divine. Neptune is the planet that's the mirror or the window into the divine for you. And so Neptune is also kind of like driving in the fog, in the sense that with your eyes open, you can't see. But with your eyes closed, with your connection to the divine, you're much easier to see clearly. The other thing about Neptune, especially when it's relating to relationship areas, is that because Neptune sees the truth, the deep truth, it can also focus on the beautiful side. It can get a little delusional. in the sense that everyone's soul is pure and special, you know, but here's the reality of it is that, yeah, their soul is pure and special, but there's a lot of dirt. There's a lot of things that in between you and their soul that are not pure and special, you know, depending on their ego, you know, it's kind of like, oh, wow, I met this great person. Oh, they're so fabulous. Neptune. Oh, they're a drunk. Oops, didn't see that one coming. So Neptune in the fifth house. The fifth house is one of the things about the fifth house is love affairs. It's kind of the karmic closet for relationships. Having Neptune there, there's a way in which also understanding your spiritual connection needs other people. So, yeah, so that's, I think I could go on for a long time on that, but I'm noticing the clock is, Brenda's giving me that eye, like, let's not make this a couple hours. I'm messing with her, jeez. All right, so we have Jupiter in the North Node in Libra in the 10th house. Is that the next one, or did I?
Did you see? I think you skipped one. So there's a Libra bridges the 3rd and 4th house with no planets. These are apparently your peeps. These are your peeps, Ralph, because they're on it, man. They know. They're answering this question.
Okay, so how about this, Brenda? Because I can't read and talk, especially from this point. I can't read in general, but
okay.
You tell me what the next question is.
Okay, so Libra bridges the 3rd and 4th house with no planets.
All right, so Libra bridges the 3rd and 4th house. So the 3rd house is your voice. The 4th house is how you nurture yourself. It's home and family. And so one of the things is that a lot of times relating to others, or because Libra's not just a lover relationship, it's intimate friendships, it's close friendships, it's that bonding, that connection. And so on some levels, your voice needs other people. You know, for you to really see or understand your voice needs other people. So I would look at your Mercury to kind of dive deeper into that, you know, but also on the 4th house, that connection with other people. You know, some people's 4th house, some people don't need other people to nurture themselves, you know, but with Libra there, very likely, depending on where your Venus is, as long as it's not in something like Aquarius in the 11th house, or, you know, but so your voice and how you nurture yourself needs other people. All right, next.
Jupiter and North Node in Libra in the 10th house.
Awesome. All right,
that's Marilee.
Okay, so Jupiter is the planet that is, one of the ways to look at Jupiter is where you underestimate yourself. Jupiter is where your luck is. With Jupiter in Libra, your ability to use other people's resources, your ability to connect with other people and utilize that ability to connect is something you underestimate. You know, 10th house is your mission in the collective. And so one of the ways, a lot of times kind of not evolutionary astrologers will say the 10th house will show you your career. And from an evolutionary perspective, it's not that the 10th house won't show you the career, it's that there's so many options, but what the 10th house planet will do is that as you evolve that planet, as you elevate your connection, your work, because remember what I said in the beginning of this webinar is that, you know, you have a planet in a house, in a sign, you're taking that class this lifetime. Your soul needs that information to get where it's going. So, you know, this is speaking even more for you in the sense that your North Node's there. So the North Node is where your soul's reaching to. It's also the thing that you did not know the thing that kept you from where you were going in the past lives. Another way to say this is the North Node is where you're dumb as dirt, meaning you don't understand it, you don't take it. Another thing that it's kind of funny, there's a way, it's like, you know how you have a friend that's just brilliant and they're brilliant in everything, but there's like this one area of life that's like, wow, you're so smart, you're so amazing, but wow, you are just so clueless over here. It's like, I don't know what happened to your brain, but you know. And so that's the North Node a lot of times. Your North Node is kind of like, oh, are you really that clueless? And it's like, yeah, unfortunately I am. And so Jupiter, 10th house, the 10th house is how other people see you. Jupiter is your connection to the divine. It's how you bring that Piscean information and bring it into the real world. It also represents your wisdom, your knowledge. It's also where you need to step up and be the queen or the king. You know, be big. Jupiter's go big or go home. You know, don't underestimate your ability to connect with and utilize other people. And with the North Node and Jupiter there, you're pretty much destined to do that. But the more you consciously work on that, you know, and then I would look at your Venus and other things to kind of dive deeper into that. Anyways, next.
Well, I'm just asking, does anybody else have Libra in any part of their chart that they would like to have some information from Ralph? So I'm going to give y'all, I know that Janet had, but I think Janet was talking about the 5th house because I think you were talking to Luann about the 5th house and didn't really answer about Libra. So just waiting to see anybody else.
So Libra in the 5th house?
No, what she said was, let's see, she said 5th house because you had said, because you were talking with Luann, she said Jupiter at 1 degree, Neptune 3 degrees.
Oh, so there's Jupiter and Neptune in the 5th house in Libra?
Yes. Well, she just said 5th house, wow. Jupiter 1 degree, Neptune 3 degrees. That's Janet. Okay.
So the 5th house is your creative. It's creativity is one of them. It's your kind of that's relax and enjoy life kind of. It's the queen. It's the look at me house. And so to have both Jupiter and Neptune, because Neptune is the window into the divine, and Jupiter is the planet that helps you bring that information and ground it into the physical world in a way that will work for people or work for you. It's your knowledge. And so there's a way in which your need for creativity, your need for connection, your need to bounce creativity off of other people. You know, so, and also the 5th house is the right audience. And so one of the, I end up talking a lot about this because this is generally very deep in people's karma, is choosing the right audience and the wrong audience. And so here's the right audience, Jupiter, Neptune. And who was asking this question again?
This would be Janet.
All right, so here's the right audience, Janet. Wow, Janet, that is so profound. Oh my God, that's so transformational. How did you know that? Oh my God, thank you so much. Wow. And here's the wrong audience. That's interesting. But let me unpack this a little bit, because Neptune's voice is very quiet. It's generally shrouded in doubt. You know, it's like what you're hearing right now wasn't unlocked in my head. It was unlocked by talking to people. Because if I listen to my head, it's like I have no idea what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm talking about. All this negativity. Versus if I listen to other people, it's like, oh, okay. So how can you be terrible at this when everyone tells you you're great at it? It's like, oh, okay. Or people start wanting to give you money. So there's a way in which for you to unlock that Neptune Jupiter power, you need to be around the right people. And here's the thing. I want, because this is one of the reasons why I like to ask questions, is because synchronicity wise, the people who ask the questions are the ones that bring in the information that we all need to hear. So even if you don't have Neptune Jupiter in the 5th house, wherever your Neptune Jupiter is, this information is good for you. And so I want you to just think about this very quiet, shrouded in doubt thought, inspiration that came down from the heavens. You have this thought that's shrouded in doubt. It's like, God, am I just like being an egotistical maniac, or am I, did I drink too much, or, smoke too much pot when I was a kid, or all sorts of things will come in. And I want you to hold on to that for a second. And I'm going to say a couple things. So you're holding on to that thought. Wow, that was so inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing. I so needed. So now, can you see how that shroud of doubt dissipates? Because you share this idea that you think is like doubtful. It's like, oh, am I? But the person's like so like, telling you the opposite. So that's the one person, and here's the other person. Oh, that's interesting. See how the doubt just consumes it? You don't open up, you don't talk anymore. Because when someone's like, wow, that's so great, you're looking over where you found that last little piece to see if there's any more. Oh, you like that? Well, there's some more. And so that needing the right audience to unlock this powerful Jupiter, Neptune, creativity you have, So it's like,
she also said that she was born on my Neptune line just west of it.
Oh, nice. That's a powerful line. So it's really important to remember how people affect us, and having the right people and the wrong people. The more you can remember how people affect me. Did I disappear internet-wise?
No. Oh, I was laughing because I think that was from somebody else. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. It's all good. We're talking Neptune. I'm surprised I can even coherently put words together. There's a minute you tune into Neptune, it's like all sorts of weird things happen. Let's just keep the internet together and not blow anything up. But so, and this is not just Neptune. This is Libra. This is all of us just in general. Doesn't regardless what you're doing. The right people versus the wrong people. Are you surrounded? And this is also back to this Pluto Capricorn. This is like so core to this transit we're dealing with, because the subconscious and the past life nonsense brings in, and this is, part of the reason why Brenda and I are doing this, because it's not, I cannot tell you how many times in the last month I've said, what you think you believe, what you say you believe, if it's not manifesting in your life, there's a part of you that's not believing it. And it's like, don't think about what you think you believe. Look at what's happening in your life and look at what's controlling that, and call Brenda. Hello, book me a session, and so this is key. And one of the things that's so key to this is that choosing the right people. And with this 5th house creativity, it's really super important.
How important is it?
So super. Yes. So
there is one more person who did give us some information on their Libra.
Okay. All right.
Just so you know.
All right.
Are you ready?
It's an Aries full moon.
I'm going to come back to us, Ralph.
Right.
So from Maria.
Let me finish real quick.
Okay.
I just want to finish real quick before I go. Your creativity, it's important to only show it to the right people. If you don't show it to the right people, it's going to get crushed. I'm done. Let's move on. Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome. You. So from, I hope I'm saying your name right, Maria, or Maria, I'm not sure. Yes. is I've got Pluto and Uranus in Libra in the 6th house.
Nice, beautiful. I like that. Okay, well, I
Mariah,
apologize.
thank you. It's Mariah. Thank you.
I apologize that I'm not going to even begin to be able to do justice on this, but we'll do our best and try to keep us out, not sub 2 hour webinar here. Brenda's giving me that look like, yeah, dude, we got things to do tonight.
You know what I love is that we have a smaller group tonight, and you guys know more about your chart, because Ralph will ask about this and nobody will answer, right? And so I'm excited for him because he gets to talk about this, and then we'll do a little work and it'll be fun.
Yeah. So
Mariah.
So the 6th house is how you serve other people. It's what skills you have mastery. It's the relating in the physical world. With Libra there, how you relate and interact with people is key. To have Pluto there means that your soul's deepest desire is this service to others, but a connection. To have Pluto and Uranus there, there's a way in which Pluto's that soul deep desire, and Uranus is like, I don't really care what anyone else thinks. I'm going to bring my unique perspective in. And so there's a way in which pure Uranian energy is, counter to relating to others. It's like Uranus is like, I don't care what you think. This is just what I see as the truth. Boom. That's generally not going to go over as well in relating to other people. So there's this balance between needing to express that soul truth, that deep, unique perspective, but also finding the right people to serve, So it's like, people say, wow, you're too intense. Oh, wow, could you just calm down or relax, or do you, or any of those, like not liking you? Those are the wrong people. It's like, get away from them, as far away from them as you can. Surround yourself with people. It's like, wow, you're so intense. I always appreciate how you just make me think and feel. And it's so, and the type of work, the type of service you do, it's important to not get caught up in society's nonsense, not get caught up with trying to please everyone, not get caught up with trying to take care of everyone. Remember, open your heart, know that the universe puts you there for a reason. Put these planets there for a reason. Stay away from other toxic astrologers that want to give you negative nonsense about this. This is a powerful placement. You're going to be able to help people very deeply with this placement if you choose the people wisely. All right. I think I talked a bit. Normally I have notes. I didn't even have notes today, so I didn't think I needed them.
It was a divine channeling here with his information and his brain. So,
yeah.
Are you ready? Is there anything else you want? You ready? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So,
yes.
Because we have a lot of new.
Yes.
I'm so. We have a lot of new faces, new names. So awesome. I'm excited for them with some of the information that you gave. So once again, my name is Brenda Bailey. I'm a Theta Healing Master, and I work with people's beliefs, and we hold those at a cellular level. So like Ralph says, you can tell me how you think and how you feel, but actually what you're creating in your life is what you believe, and we see that in our lives. And that's why a lot of people end up having frustration or feel like they are living that definition of insanity and wondering why. And it's because our beliefs are held at a cellular level, and you can't think or, you can't think them away. So contrary to what's out there that will tell you that. I mean, you can, but who has that kind of time? It's like decades it'll take. So we can do it here instantly. So whenever I start to work with a new client, student, group, I always make sure that they have 3 beliefs in place. And that's, I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. So anything that you agree to, right, because this is a very complimentary, very respectful modality, you have to say yes out loud. Now, I can't hear y'all, but when you say yes out loud, it tells your brain, it tells the universe, it tells whoever you believe to be your higher power, like, I'm agreeing to this. So here are the first 3. I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and instant healing is possible. If you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And if you're catching this on Facebook Live, or if you're watching this recording later, you can still say yes out loud and you'll get it. So just know that. You didn't, I mean, yes, we love to have you with us on the webinar. That's what we prefer, because then you get this little like one-on-one stuff that everybody just got, but everybody will get the downloads. So we do this because what I do works very quickly. And if you don't believe that you want, deserve, or that it's possible to have an instant healing, it makes my job harder. So I'm going to look over my notes that pertain specifically to the Aries full moon. Okay. Because we got a lot of information tonight. So one, I want to just, because this is always one of Ralph's favorite topics, it's about transits. Right? So I would like for us to have the definition of transits and be in alignment with Creator's definition, know what it feels like, that it's possible, that it is safe, right? And how it serves us. So if you'd like that, just say yes out loud.
Yeah, and it's your friend. Yes, yes, yes.
And Ralph's definition is that it's your friend. So there you go. You know, our biggest thing is right here is to empower people with information and to be able to change what doesn't, what is like, will cause them maybe some headaches or some obstacles or hiccups, speed bumps, whatever you want to call it, right? So that it allows you to be able to course correct. So we want to remove the free-floating memories. Okay, so this was the thing. This is what I really got from tonight, Ralph. Is there feels like there's a lot of conflict. It feels like we're wanting to have balance, but there's a lot of like conflicting deals going on. So we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event. So when we're looking at shifting things, we always remove the free-floating memories from the original event, because that could be from a past life that we may not be aware of, and we don't have to do a past life regression to know this. We just want to pinpoint it back there so that it can be retroactive, the work that we do. So we remove the free-floating memories from the original event. That the result is that it's not possible to maintain balance through conflict. And then we also want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being calm during reactive times. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from embracing and understanding that soul level truth. So let's go ahead and just start with those. So if you'd like those.
I want to add something quickly on that one. Conflict is generally only available if there's an absence of faith in an absence of knowing that there's a win-win solution. And so
let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that it's actually a sin to have a win-win situation. And let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having faith. So if you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And let's see what else I got on my list. Let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from taking the appropriate action for what we really want. And let's also remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to hold on to trauma beyond how it serves us. And let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to have attachments. So if you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then we got to see where this was a lot about relationships, right? So we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to be in relationships that don't serve us. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we're obligated to give up of ourselves to be in relationships. And then we also want to go ahead and just get Creator's definition of relationships so that we can be in alignment with it, know what it feels like, that it's possible, and that it's safe. Is there something that you want to add, Ralph? Because you're smiling.
Yeah. Yes, there is. The belief system that you can ever be in a relationship that's not right and perfect, because if you're in a relationship, it's the right and perfect one, and it's there to teach you something. So not to say that part of what it's to teach you is to run and choose wisely. I'm not saying that's not sometimes the case, but in my humble opinion, that's not always so humble. It's impossible to be in a relationship that's not right and perfect in the moment.
Absolutely. And so let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to be in relationships that are right and perfect that cause us pain.
One more thing. Removing the free-floating memories that keep us from learning the lesson quickly.
So let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligates us to repeat the lessons, whether we've learned them or not.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, so let's go to do those. All right.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's also let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from opening our heart. Let's also remove the free-floating memories from the original event that it's a sin to have an open heart. And let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to close our heart. And then let's also remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to close ourselves off from God, because we're either coming at it from a God perspective or a heart perspective. And either way, it's not serving us with that. Let's also remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having the courage to be in love. And let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from giving our souls what they need. So if you'd like,
can I
yes,
add one more?
as he moves forward, yes, Ralph. He's very chatty tonight. Go on, Ralph. Yes.
This belief that the heart can be hurt. The heart feels and the mind labels it hurt. So that's all I wanted to say.
So let's go ahead. Let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having the heart-mind connection, that allow it to be in the perspective of where it needs to be.
Awesome.
And yeah, and then I'm going to have one final one after that, I believe. So if you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from starting a cycle, so that are preventing us to be at the beginning of the cycle with a clean slate.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let's go ahead and do that. All right.
Wow, that's a powerful one.
So we have to, there's some forgiveness in that, right? So we need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive our charts. We need to forgive God. We need to forgive Ralph for the information he's given. No, I'm just kidding. We need to, we just need to forgive, right? So let's also get Creator's definition of forgiveness so that we can be in alignment with that, know, what it feels like, that it's possible and that it's safe, and also how it serves us, right? So if you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
Anything else, Ralph?
I think we accomplished it, and it's all because of Brenda that we managed to keep it close to an hour, because I gave her no help.
I just have
Only
to
because
squeeze
I was
it in.
listening.
I just have to talk faster, but when we do, it's okay. So everybody, absolutely a lot of new names on the call here, so that is beautiful. We do this through the end of the year. We're doing this, like I said, the third Wednesday of the month is when we do our full moon, and the first Wednesday of the month is when we do our new moon, and those are two different webinars. So you do, once again, www.joinmoongatherings.com will kind of let you know what's up, and invite your friends. That's the deal. I mean, this is great information. Invite them to join the webinar. So you're very welcome, Luann. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you attending, and we'll have the link for those of you who didn't make it. Anything else, Ralph?
I want to kind of add a couple of announcements. So in the spirit of this Aries full moon, Brenda and I have something very powerful brewing that is going to be coming out probably next meeting, if not sooner. So stay tuned to this area to find out about that. And then also, in my classic style of either not interested or completely obsessed, the obsessive video poster on YouTube is taken over. And so I've been doing a lot of stuff on videos right now. And I just started a new series called Ask an Astrologer, where you can ask me questions and I will do a video on them. So I would suggest you go check out Astromap Links at YouTube, click like, subscribe, and the notifications. And hopefully I won't give you too many videos. I'm trying to do a video every couple of days. Sometimes I do 4 or 5 a day. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us too.